Hello, I'm Dyslexic Nerd and I am dyslexic. Dyslexic. Dyslexic? Dyslexic. Okay, I'm sure there's a K in there somewhere. There we go. I'm Dyslexic Nerd and I'm dyslexic.
Nerd!
As you can imagine, being dyslexic has had a major impact on my life because, of course, it will. See, I could do the basics, I could read subtitles, road signs, menus, trading cards, but when it comes to anything a bit more significant, anything longer, then I struggle a lot. An ambulance outside. So, if you give me a book with just lines upon lines of text, the whole thing blurs together. Think about it like this. The amount of cognitive energy it takes to read a book leaves absolutely no brain power left over to actually read what I just read. I have gone through pages upon pages of books and it takes me like an hour and I have no idea what I just read. This has had a major impact on me as a nerd because I want to read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings, and it's like being a nerd is an EA game and reading is the overpriced DLC you actually need to complete the game. See, as a child, there's a lot of things I try to do to help with my reading and hopefully, get into these books. Some were absolutely ridiculous ideas, like for some reason, the notion went around the schools that if you wore like 3D glasses, you'd be able to read because of coloured lenses. And I can tell you now, did not work. Alongside this, my older brother used to try and read books to me. I remember him trying to read me Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And as much as I appreciated it, as a kid, I would often fall asleep because he would do it before I went to bed and I would be tired. And I didn't really have the concentration for it because, as a child, but it's still something I greatly appreciate from my older brother. Alongside that, I used to try and listen to audiobooks. I remember I had the Harry Potter cassette collection, and I'm sure plenty of you can remember that. It was something like 16 double-sided cassette tapes for the Order of the Phoenix. It was pretty intense. I've attempted to brute force it and just try and keep reading until my dyslexia becomes less of an issue, and it doesn't work either. It causes me so much stress and anxiety, and honestly, the more stress I get, the harder it becomes for me to read. Stress does not help my dyslexia at all. Eventually, I just sort of gave up with books. It just sort of wasn't a thing that was going to happen, and I came to terms with that. And although I listened to some podcasts and a lot of music, I just didn't really read books. It was quite upsetting, really, because obviously I wanted to read this stuff. I wanted to experience a full range of nerd culture. It just wasn't available to me. This thing in my mind stopped it. One day, going through YouTube, I was with one YouTuber who, like every single YouTuber apparently, wants to buy Audible. Not a sponsor, but Audible, if you are watching, please send me a message and I'll happily be sponsored by you. Now you see, I've seen adverts for Audible a lot and it just wasn't something which I got interested in because I wasn't reading books. It wasn't on my mind. I had no plans to change that because, well, I attempted, it didn't work, and I wasn't going to put myself through all that struggle when I knew it wouldn't help. But then he mentioned a book that is special to me. And that was Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. He mentioned he was listening to that book. And I remember my brother tried reading me that, and I remember I absolutely loved that film and the whole notion of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I even dressed up as Arthur Dent at World Book Day at my school, much to the bullying of my classmates because they just said I came in my pyjamas. School was not fun. So I got the app and downloaded Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and loved it. And from there, I've just been on a binge of audiobooks. Started with all of Hitchhikers, went into the entirety of Discworld, which made me cry at the end. Then I went through all of The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, Silmarillion, which Silmarillion might be a good book, but my god, it is one of the hardest books to read and listen to. I'm currently on track to go through the entirety of the Star Wars canon audio collection, which, trust me, is really good, but really, really big, but worth it. I've also got the Sherlock Holmes collections, which I'm jumping in and out of. I've got the Horror Monster collection, which contains stuff like Frankenstein and Dracula. I went through Neil Gaiman's Norse mythology. I went through The Secret Life of Henrietta Lacks, which honestly is a really good book, and I would recommend you read that. And it's just great. I'm able to go through these books. I'm able to finally read this stuff. So the entire world of audiobooks have opened up to me, and this is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, audiobooks are a great way to enjoy literature. Literacy. That's the correct word. Try again. So yeah, audiobooks are a great way to enjoy literacy. It's one of the best ways to enjoy books currently, because people really don't have time to sit down and read a book. Everyone's moving, and I'm constantly going somewhere. There's never time to just open a book. And honestly, you should not feel embarrassed about listening to audiobooks. And I know for a long time there was a stigma about it, that you want... Hello, Cody, my dog. And I know for a long time a lot of people who were just list book readers would say that audiobooks take away from the experience, about the book smell and the comfort of it. But the fact is, audiobooks are the way forward at this point. Not to say you shouldn't pick up a book and read it if you have the capability to do so. It's just, if you want to go through these books, if you haven't got the time to sit down, then audiobooks are definitely the way to do it. And you don't have to use Audible. Other apps are available, of course they are. I just know it's helped me a lot, and it's given me just that extra thing in my life, which has been absolutely wonderful to have, honestly. There's the dog by my feet. Kitty, kitty, treat, and catch. Don't catch it, just eat it off the floor. I would like to hear your stories about this type of stuff. What audiobooks do you listen to, and what difficulties have you faced being dyslexic? Because like I said, it's had a huge impact on my life, and it should be interesting to get the conversation going. And just know that there's no shame in having to find alternatives to enjoying this stuff, because at the end of the day, it's there to be enjoyed, and it's not fair that anybody should miss out. Also, I am... and you know what? I'm going to pick my dog up. Come on, Cody. Who's the good boy? Look at your treat. Who's the good boy? Who's the good boy? Look at the camera. And tell them to subscribe. And tell them to follow me on Instagram. Link in the description below. Love you. And... oh, he's a good boy. Yeah. Also, if you follow me on Instagram, you can find my stories. They ask questions about what type of things I should be talking about. 2 people voted for this one. No one voted for the other option. Okay, I think someone's been put down. Slobber. But I'm always looking for recommendations. And you know what? Recommend me a book. What are you reading? What should I listen to? Put it here or put it on my Instagram. Just talk to me. Subscribe. Still don't know how to end the video, so I'm going to put 2 thumbs up. I'm pretty sure at this point I should have links to other stuff on the side somewhere.